Hello, grade 8 students. This is chapter-wise revision discussion video series. So normally in grade 6 and 7, I started the revision discussion or the chapter-wise discussion from unit 1. But considering many of your requests, I thought to start your chapter-wise discussion from chapter 11. You can see chapter 11, 12, 13 and chapter 23. These 4 chapters are interrelated. I repeat, you can see chapter 11, 12, 13 and 23. These are interrelated and many of the students have not understood the concept very well. So then I'm not going to explain the theories, but what I'm going to do, considering the mixed exercises, I'm going to explain you the theory, right? Okay. Now you just look at this. So by any chance, if you have not done this before watching video, I suggest you to do these sums by your own, or else you listen to me maybe until kind of, let's say that the 5 to 10 minutes, you try to recall your memory or the knowledge, then you can try the rest of the questions alone. Then you can watch the video and see whether your answers are correct, right? Because these 4 lessons are very important. Chapter 11, 12, 13 and 23. So these 4 lessons take a considerable portion of your O-level syllabus. This basic knowledge will be very important. Therefore, please follow me and try to understand the concept well. So this is mixed exercises, chapter 11, exercise 11I. Now, when you come across with this kind of the question, I'm taking the question number 1, children. You just imagine that you have 5 and then the x plus 2, let's say. What does this mean? So you don't want to expand this when you are doing it in the exam, but I will quickly show that what is the real meaning of this. So this is the meaning. In between the number and the bracket, we have the hidden multiplication, right? And then what you are supposed to do, you multiply each and every component inside the bracket by the outside number. 5 times x, 5x, and the next one, 5 times 2, 10. You write it like this, right? I will take another example here in this chapter. You just see the question number 1 here. This time I'm not expanding. Now you want to do this with me in mind, right? How do you do that? I know in between 4 and the bracket, I have the hidden multiplication. I want to multiply the bracket components by the outside number 4. 4 times 2, 8. And 4 times 5x, 20x. But you just see what is the sign you have. 4 times negative 5x, negative 20x. Please be mindful to look at the sign you have. 4 times negative 5, 4 times 5, 20. That we know. 4 times negative 5, it's negative 20. 4 times negative 5x, it is negative 20x, right? Okay, so then we will move to another kind of question. Let's say the question number 2. Question number 2, children, you have 8p and then you have 3q minus 2r. Now you can do this with me without expanding like question number 1 here. You put the equation mark here. So first you multiply the numbers. 8 times 3, 24. P times q, pq. 8 times negative 2, negative 16. P times r, pr. Okay. So then we will try to do another question here. Okay, question number 2. You can see that they have given the same kind of question when you practice them over and over again. So then you are thorough with the concept, children. Right here you have 8a, then you have 2 minus 3a, right? So then what should you do? To 8 times 2, 16. Then A, you don't have anything. You just write A here. 8 times negative 3, negative 24. 8 times A squared, right? 8 times 2, 16 and 16A. 8 times 2, 16A. 8 times negative 3, negative 24. A times A squared, right? So that is how you write the answer. So then we will move to the third question. Before moving to the third question, I prefer to do question number 6 here. It is simple that you have two brackets, x minus 8 and x minus 12. So children, when you have something like this, you take the first item of the first bracket and you multiply it by the item in the second bracket. For an example, first x times x, what is the answer? X squared. Then x times negative 12, it is negative 12x, right? So then the second item in the first bracket, negative 8 times x, negative 8x. Then negative 8 times negative 12. 8 times 12, 84. Negative 8 times negative 12, it is, so sorry, not 84, 96, sorry about it. So then the 12 times 8, so then you multiply negative value by negative value, so then it becomes positive 96. So then you can see negative 12x and negative 8x, they are like terms. When you have the same signs like this, negative, negative, you add the numbers 12 and 8, 20, and you use the common sign that is negative 20x. So then I write here x squared minus 20x plus 96. Right? So this is how you do. So negative 8 times x, negative 8x, negative 8 times negative 12, positive 96. We will go for a similar kind of question here. Question number 4. Now question number 4, now I'm going to do without having the arrows, right? Earlier one that I used the arrows, but in the exam we are not using the arrows like that. You can do it in mind. So then the x times x, x squared, x times negative 9, negative 9x, and 11 times x, 11x, and positive 11 times 9, 99. Positive 11 times negative 9, it is negative 99, right? Then you have the like terms, positive negative 9 and positive 11. When you have the different signs like this, children, you want to get the difference of the numbers. So 11 and 9, the difference is 2. So then you write here 2x. And then what is the sign you use? You want to use the sign of 11 because that is the higher digit. So then what will be your final answer? X squared plus 2x minus 99, right? X squared minus 9x plus 11x minus 99. And negative 9x and positive 11x, then it is positive 2x. So then that will be x squared plus 2x minus 99, right? So then we will move to another question type. So then question number 3. I'll do question number 3. Now the things are getting complicated when we are moving. So then you want to focus well. 3a plus b and 2a minus 5b. Children, I suggest you something. If you find it is difficult to do these in mind without having the arrows, you can write them in your working column and do it, right? That's totally fine, right? So then you are not going to get lesser marks that when you are doing that. Only thing that it takes your time, but it is worth to do them in the working column rather getting a wrong answer. So then if I do it like this, let's say that you are struggling to do this in mind, right? In that case, what you are supposed to do, children, you quickly do it like this. 3a times 2a, then 3a times negative 5b, and then the b times 2a, and b times negative 5b. You quickly write down like this. So then slowly here 3 times 2, 6, a times a squared. 3 times negative 5, negative 15, ab. B times, that is 2, only number we have 2. B times A, it is AB. And then the negative 5 is the only number we have, B squared. Am I clear? So then what you are supposed to write now? 6A squared minus 15AB and plus 2AB and minus 5B squared. So these are like terms. You can see positive 15, negative 15AB and positive 2AB. You have the different signs. I told you, if you have the different signs, you want to get the difference of the numbers. 15 and 2, the difference is 13. 13AB, and you use the negative sign because the higher digit is 15 and it has the negative sign. So then you write the final answer, 6A squared minus 13AB minus 5B squared. I want to double check. 3 times 2, 6, A times A squared. 3 times negative 5, negative 15, AB. And then the 2ab, and then negative 5b squared. And negative 15 and positive 2, it is negative 13. Yeah, that is correct. Then I will move to a similar kind of question here. Let's say you have question number 3. Question number 3, that what you have, you write it 4a plus 3, and then you have 3a minus 11. Right? I told you, quickly you go to the working column and you write 4a times 3a, then 4a times negative 11, and then the 3 times 3a, and then the 3 times negative 11. You write the things like this. Right? You write the things like this. 4 times 3, 12, a squared. Then 4 times negative 11, negative 44a. So then 3 times 3, 9a, and 3 times negative 11, negative 33. Right? So you quickly write this and come here and write 12a squared minus 44a plus 9a minus 33. Now here you can see the like terms, right? Negative 44 and positive 9, that you have the different signs. When you have the different signs, you know that you want to get the difference of the numbers. 44 and 9, the difference is 35, 35a, and the sign will be negative, and you conclude the answer 12a squared minus 35a minus 33. And children, most of the students and the parents, they ask, teacher, do we really need to show the steps like this? The direct answer, I would say, yes, you should. And then you are saying, the teacher, we don't have time to do that, and we are struggling with the time, and then it takes time, and then why do we need to show the steps like this? If you are struggling to manage your time, it's all about your practice, children. If you practice them over and over again, so writing all the steps clearly like this, it is not a magical thing. You can do it easily because that is kind of the part of your process of getting the answer, right? So then I would say if you practice them again and again, writing all the steps and showing all the steps like this, it is kind of an easy thing for you, right? And the other thing, that do we really need to do that? Yes, you need. And I know that some of the school branches, teachers, they say that you don't need. And then when you go through the marking scheme nowadays, that marking schemes are also available with in the system. So then when you're going through the marking scheme, you just think, oh no, that even though the Jeewa teachers told to write all the steps like this, we don't want to do, because in the marking scheme also it is not there. Keep this in your mind. The real marking scheme, or the O-level marking scheme, is prepared by the Pearson Edexcel or the Cambridge or whatever that the examination body, not your school teacher. Please be ready for the final exam, not that your semester exam or that your monthly test or the assessment, formative assessment, not that. That we want to focus, we want to target the final exam. So then we want to be ready with the international standard where we want to show the steps. And then this part, it is not compulsory. I would say this part is not compulsory. This part I suggested, or that they introduce for those who are struggling with the multiplication in mind. But these steps, yes, it is compulsory for me and the Edexcel or the Cambridge examination body. This might not be important or compulsory in your school level or the semester exam level, but our ultimate target to score in the final exam, right? So then we will move to the next type of question. You just see, children, go to question number 9. If you come across with a question like that, the question number 9, they have not given 2 brackets, right? So then what you are supposed to do, but instead they have given a square. That when you have the square, that means we know we want to write the base 2 times, right? So then the 5x plus 2 square. Okay, how do we write this? 5x plus 2, and the other side 5x plus 2, like this, right? So this is the additional step you have, children. The rest, the same way you did. 5 times 5, 25. X times x, x squared. 5x times 2, 10x. 2 times 5x, 10x. 2 times 2, 4. So then the 10x and 10x, it is 20x. Right? 10x and 10x, it is 20x. So then how do you finalize the answer? So then the 25x squared, right? So then I will quickly write the final answer. Here you write 25x squared plus 20x plus 4. Okay. Children, now I want to show you that, let's say you have something in the paper 1, or sometimes in the paper 1 part 1, where you get only 1 mark sometimes. In that case, and also that you have very limited space in the paper, in paper 1, you want to write the answers in the paper itself, and you want to manage the spaces they have given. If you come across with that kind of scenario, now I'm going to do the question number 5. How we are going to do, I will tell you a tip, that the x plus 6, and then you have x plus 10, then that the answer should be, that definitely that you want to multiply the first 2 items, it is x squared, no? And you just write the negative sign like this. Why you write the negative sign? If need, you can make it positive easily, right? And you add the numbers, positive 6, positive 10, it is positive 16x. Then you multiply these numbers, 6 times 10, positive 6 multiplied by positive 10, the answer is positive 60. So this is how you can get the answer. at once. If you have very limited space in the paper one, where you want to write the answers in the paper itself, you don't have space to show the steps, and you have only 1 mark for the question. If you come across with that kind of situation, what is the pattern you do? First, you multiply these. So this is the first item. How do you write the middle item? So you just add the numbers 6 and 10, it is 16. And how do you write the third item? You multiply these numbers. Now I will give you you will just try that and see whether it is correct now. X times x squared, x times 10, 10x, and 6 times x, 6x, and 6 times 10, 60. So then the 10x and 6x, it is 16x, right? So then you write x squared plus 16x plus 60. So you get the same answer, right? Now I'm going to give you the similar kind of question to get let's say again that you want to do the next question again in a very limited space in your paper one, and you get only 1 mark by any chance, let's say, if you come across with that kind of situation. So then I will give you another example. Let's say you have x plus 8 and x minus 2. Now what you do? The first item we know x times x squared, my children. Then I told you to write the negative sign like this, right? And then in the middle, what you are going to do? You just add the numbers, positive 8 and negative 2. Positive 8 and negative 2, when you add positive 8, negative 2, you have the different signs. You get the difference of the numbers, 8 and 2, 6, and it is positive 6x. How do you get the last digit? You just multiply positive 8 times negative 2, it is negative 16. Right? Let's say you have something like this, x minus 4 and x minus 3. Now what you are going to do? So then you just have that the x and x, it is x squared. Again, that you write the negative signs like this, because if need, we can make it to positive. Negative 4 and negative 3. When you have the same sign, what you're supposed to do, children? You want to add the numbers 4 and 3, 7, and it is negative 7x. And then when you multiply negative 4 times negative 3, it is positive 12, like this, right? This is how you want to do, right? So if you want to do the steps like this, you know how to do it, right? Let's say that you want to do, you want to show your answers like this with the steps. Wait, I will show you. So like this, and I'll take the red color. So this is the detailed version, right? So this is in paper 1 part 2 and paper 2 and paper 1 part 1 also, that you have enough space to write the answer. So then you go for this method. And if you come across with situation where in paper 1 part 1 where you have very limited space and you have 1 mark, so then you can go for this kind of the shortcut, right? Okay, so then we will move to a next kind of question. Right, now you just look at this one, children, question number 10. Right, question number 10 here, you have 1 minus 5a and then 1 plus 5a. Now what happened? So 1 times 1, 1 squared. That means 1. 1 times 5a, it is 5a. Negative 5 times 1. So 5a times 1, negative 5a. Negative 5 times 5 times 5, 25. Negative 5 times positive 5, negative 25. A times a squared. Now you can see positive 5 and negative 5 you can cancel. So then you can write 1 minus 25 a squared. In the next chapter, I will show you how to do the reverse, right? So for the time being here that we are expanding, 1 times 1, 1. Then 1 times 5a, positive 5a, negative 5a times 1, negative 5a. So then negative 5a times positive 5a, negative 25a squared, right? So then I'll go to question number 9. Question number 9, we have 2x plus 7z. And then I want to write it 2 times because there is a square. Then I write the same bracket component 2x plus 7z like this. Right? So then you have 2 times 2, 4x squared. 2 times 7, 14, x, z. 7 times 2, you have 14, x, z. And 7 times 7, 49, z square. Children, now you just see that the 7 times 2, 14, and z times x, zx now. But how do we write it? Normally, it is not compulsory. So if you write it as zx, that I can't say it is wrong. But normally, as a practice, we write them in alphabetical order. When you have 2 letters or 3, 4 letters, you write them in alphabetical order. So then it becomes xz, right? So then here, these are like terms. Then the 14 plus 14, 28, xz. And then here we have 4x squared plus 28 xz plus 49 z squared. Right? So this is how we write 4x squared, 28xz and 49 z squared. Right? So then I will take the question number 8 here. You look at the question number 8. Question number 8, you have x minus 4y squared. So then how do you write this? X minus 4y, and then you write x minus 4y. So then you write x squared minus 4xy minus 4xy. Minus 4 times minus 4 plus 16, minus 4 times minus 4 plus 16 and y squared. So then here you have something like this, right? So then here you have minus 8xy and x squared minus 8xy plus 16 y squared. Right? Minus 8xy plus 16y squared. Right? Minus 4xy minus 4x minus 4 and minus 4, that becomes minus 8x. Okay, children. So then that is the end of the chapter 11 revision. And the next, we are going to next video, chapter 12 revision, and I will show you how to deal with the algebraic factors. Okay, children, I hope that you could recall the whole chapter, that I took the different types of questions, the different scenarios where you can apply for all the questions, right? I took the few of the difficult question, and then the different questions that each question or the example here I discussed were different each other. Finally, I want to show you something. If you come across with something, now if you have 4x plus 3, you know 4 times x 4x and 4 times 3 12, that you know. By any chance, if you come across with something like this negative x plus 3, what does this mean, children? The earlier one, this one, you know, in front of the bracket you have 4, and then all the bracket components you want to multiply by 4. It may be the positive 4, it may be negative 4, whatever, that if you come across with a number, positive or negative or decimal or fraction, you know you can multiply the bracket components by that number. But here, the last example I have shown, you have the bracket, and in front of the bracket you don't have a number, you have only the negative sign. That means, children, it is negative 1. right? Keep this in your mind. Most of the students that they are stuck that what to do because there is no number to multiply like all the other examples and the questions we did. So then if you come across something like this, only the negative sign, you want to rewrite the question like this with -1. Then -1 times x, -1x, and -1 times 3, -3. This is how you get the answer, right? Let's say you have negative and x minus 5, something like this. First step, I want to rewrite this with -1 and I write the bracket components. Then I can multiply. -1 times x, -1x, -1 times -5, +5, something like this. Right? Okay, that is all about the chapter 11, children. So the next video, I will bring the revision for the chapter 12. I told you my plan is to discuss here the chapter 11, 12, 13, and 23. So these the chapters that most of the students are struggling with, and before the semester exam that I'm planning to discuss the vector lesson and sets. So these kind of the questions that the areas where most of the students are struggling, and the inequalities and regions, 3 figure bearing questions, a few trigonometry and Pythagoras theorem. So then I'm not discussing the chapter 1 and LCM, HCF. No, I'm not going to spend the time for this. And then the matrices, the multiplication of matrices, again, that the most of the students are struggling. So then I will bring for you that the grade 6 and 7, I will present it the chapter wise. So then in order. But for you, I'm not going to discuss the very basic thing. I will take the matrices, so then the percentages, and then the 3 figure bearing, Pythagoras theorem, trigonometry, inequalities. So those kind of the complex or the advanced topics with you. Okay, children, we'll meet again in the next video. Until then, stay safe and keep that in your mind. You have like maybe 35 days for your semester exams. Focus very well because that is the last examination you are doing in the middle school. September onwards, you will be in the high school, either with the national curriculum, either with the Edexcel curriculum, you will be in the high school. So this will be your last examination in the middle school. Keep that in your mind. So then try to score as much as possible and keep a kind of a memorable progress report with you, as that is the last semester examination. Okay, children, we'll meet again. Till then, stay safe. Bye.